Welcome to the last subchapter of first chapter 1.8 Operations with Decimals from Course 2A Singapore Math. With this chapter, we finish the entire first chapter. Wow, let's kill it. So, our questions here. Evaluate each sum or difference. As you can see, we have one negative number and one positive number. When you have one positive and one negative, you basically minus a smaller number from the larger number and put the sign of the larger number. So which is our larger number here? This one. And then smaller number is this. So let's do it. 6.25 minus 3.9, and I can write 0 here. That's not a problem. It is same thing. 5 minus 0 is 5. 2 minus 9 cannot be done, so we will borrow 1 from here. 12 minus 9 is 3, and 5 minus 3 is 2. So the answer is 2.35 with a negative sign because the larger number is negative. Next, minus 2.074 plus 1.8. The same process, 2.074 minus 1.800. It's the same thing. 4 minus 0 is 4, 7 minus 0 is 7. Now 0 minus 8 cannot be done, so we are going to borrow from here. That's 10 minus 8, which gives us 2, and that's 0 here. Answer is 0.274 with a negative sign. Next, now here we have both the numbers negative. When we have the same sign, we are supposed to add them and put the sign. 11.52 and 6.30 also you can write. So we are going to add them. That's 2, 8, 7, 1. 17.82 and a negative sign as both the numbers are negative. The next here, is it negative or positive? So it is minus times minus, which is equal to, yes, it's plus. So our equation becomes minus 29.4 plus 7.21, which means one positive and one negative. So let's follow our process. Yes, here I'm going to put 0. I cannot subtract 1 from 0. Let's borrow from here. That gives us 9. Here 1, 2 and 2. So the answer is 22.19 with a negative sign. As the bigger number, the larger number is negative. 4 questions down. Now here we have both numbers negative. So we are going to add them first. 0.980. 6 plus 0 is 6, 0 plus 8 is 8, 1 plus 9 is 10, so 1 here and 1 carry, and that is 9. 9.086 with a negative sign. Done. Sixth question, evaluate each product. It's multiplication now. And there are decimal numbers, but the process remains the same. The decimal numbers, these decimal digits should not scare you. Just follow your normal process first, then I'll tell you how to put the decimal point. We will do 48 times 3 multiplication. 8 times 3 is 24. 4 here, 2 carry forward. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 plus 2 is 14. I will write 144 here. Where do I put my decimal point? In this number, we have one decimal digit, and here we have one more. So in all, we have 2 decimal digits. I'm going to count from right to left 2 digits and put my decimal point here. Again, watch out. One of the numbers is negative, so answer is going to be negative because this is plus times minus gives us minus or odd number of minus sign. Clear? Let's go to the next one. It's the same kind of a question. We will do 16 times 29 here first. 0 because I'm going with 2 first. That's 20. That's why I have to put 0 here. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 here. 1 carry forward. 2 times 1 is 2. Plus 1 gives us 320. Now 9 times 6 is 54. A 4 there and 5 carried here. 9 times 1 is 9 plus 5 gives us 14. So this is 4, 6 and 4. So I'm going to write my answer here first. Where do we put our decimal point? Let's see. 1 digit here and 1 digit here, making it 2 digits. So this way, let's go 2 digits, which comes here. And the answer is negative. Again, product. But this time, watch out, we have both negative numbers. So it is negative times negative, which gives us positive. So our answer is going to be a positive one. Let's multiply. 325 times 17. I'm treating them as if they were not decimal numbers. 0 first, 1 times 5, 1 times 2, and 1 times 3, plus 7 times 5 is 35, so 5 here and 3 carried. 7 times 2 is 14, 14 plus 3 is 17, 1 carried here. 7 times 3 is 21, and that is 22 with 1 carry there. So that's 5, 2 here, 1 carry forward, 5, 5. That's the answer. So let me write the number as it is first. My answer is positive now. 2 digits here and 1 digit here, making it 3 digits. Let's count this way. 1, 2, 3. It's here. And it's done. 8 questions done. The 9th one. Answer is going to be negative. 203 times 54. 0. 5 times 3 is 15. 1 carry. 5 times 0 is 0. And carry 1 here. 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 4 times 3 is 12. 1 here. Again 1 here. And this is 8. 2, 6, 9, 0, 1. Let's write the number 10962 with a negative sign and count the decimals. 2 and 1 makes it 3. We are going this way 3, and that's the decimal point. The 10th one, we will do 32 times 8. 16, 1 here, 24, that's 25. 2, 5, 6. 2 digits, 1 digits. This is the 3 digits, right? And we put 0 with a negative sign. It says evaluate each quotient. So you are given minus 29.52 divided by 3.6. So this can also be written as 36 here. So how did I get that? Times 10. So same thing I do here, times 10. So that becomes 29.5 and the decimal here. So this way my division becomes easier, right? So now I need to divide this. So let's do it here. That's 295.2 divided by 36. Now, it's trial and error that will help you get the number. We know that 3 times 8 is 24 and 3 times 9 is 27 and this is 29. But also we need to see this is 36, not 3, right? It's much bigger. So let's see if this works. We'll try with 8, not with 9. So 36 times 8, that's 48, 4 carry, that's 24 plus 4, 28. It's very much close to it, right? So that's times 8 to 88. And we can do this mentally, right? 88 to 95 is 7. And we take this 2 down because it's decimal. We are going to put decimal here. And 36 times 2 is 72. That's exactly what we want. So the answer here is 8.2. Simple, right? So this step here is very important to make your life easy. Again, we have same kind of a question. It says 107.64 divided by minus 2.3. So we can make this minus sign common here because it's plus divided by minus. So final answer is going to be minus. So my divisor is 2.3. I want to make it 23. So that's basically times 10. Same thing, times 10. So that's 107, 6, and the decimal comes after 6, right? sometimes some students say, okay, we have two decimal places here, so we say 10764 divided by 230. You can do that as well, but look at this number, it becomes a bit bigger and it can be confusing, though it's zero there, okay, but it can be confusing. So I prefer going this way. So let's do the division now. So that's 1076.4 divided by 23. So 107. 25 times 4 is 100, right? So 23 times 4 we will try. So 23 times 4 is going to be 92. So 7 minus 2 is 5 and 10 minus 9 is 1. We take the 6 down. Now 25 times 6 is 150, right? So we are going to try with 6 now. So 23 times 6 is going to be 138. So we did this cancellation here. That's 4 and that's 1 there. So 16 minus 8 is 8 and 14 minus 13 is 1. And this 4 comes down. Remember to put your decimal. And this is exactly times 8. You can do the calculations on site to check whether this matches or not, okay? But I know it does. So that's 184, 0 is the remainder. So the answer here is 46.8. And remember this minus sign. So that's minus. Done. Ready for the next? Okay. So we have minus 40.56 divided by minus 5.2. So again, I'm going to make this 52. That means times 10, right? So I'll do this 405.6. Now you know how I did it, so I don't need to write times 10 and all of it. Minus, minus. Minus divided by minus is plus, so we don't need to put any sign now, okay? So let's do the division. 405.6 divided by 52. 5 times 8 is 40 and 2 times 8 would be 16. So that would be 416. So 8 will not work. We will do with 7. Do it like this. See, 52 can be written as 50 and 2, right? Times 7 would be 350 and this times 7 would be 14. So you add this, so that becomes 364. That's how you do mental calculations, okay? So that's 364. 5 minus 4 is 1. 40 minus 36 is 4. We take the 6 down. So this is done here, right? So times 8. 50 times 8 is 400. And 2 times 8 is 16. So that's going to be 416. So that's times 8. 416. Remainder is 0. So the answer here is 7.8. Easy, yeah? Here comes the next one. 9.758 upon 0.41. Both are positive. No need to worry about the sign now. So that is equal to 41. How did I get to 41? That's times 100. Okay, not times 10 now. So the same thing here, times 100. So we say 9758. Where are we going to put our decimal point? 2 places, right? So 1 and 2. So the decimal is going to be here. Now we do the division. 975.8 divided by 41. 41 times 2 is 82, right? 40, 40, 80, 1, 1, 2. So that's 7 minus 2 is 5, 9 minus 8 is 1. And this 5 comes down. We'll work with 3. So again, 40 times 3 is 120. 1 times 3 is 3. So this is 123. So we say minus 123. So 5 minus 3 is 2. 5 minus 2 is 3. And we take this 8 down and the decimal here. Again, this number tells you actually what you have to multiply, right? Because 4 times 8 is 32. So 40 times 8 would be 320. And 1 times 8 is 8. So that's 328. 0. And this was 8 here, right? So the final answer here is 23.8. And it's done. And here comes the next one. Now we move to addition subtraction again. What do we observe here? All the numbers have negative sign, which means we have to add all of them. It's simple. So it's 0.59, 1.20, 3.40. This is 9 here, 5 plus 2 plus 4, 7 plus 4, 11, 1 here, and 1 carry, and that's 5. Answer is 5.19 with a negative sign. Yes, when all the numbers have the same sign, we add them and put that common sign. The next here. Now it's mixed, plus and minus both are there. So what are we going to do? Let's do the subtraction parts together, the negative ones. 140.05 plus 2.38. They both have the same sign, right? So that's answer is going to be negative answer, but I have to add them. That's why I put this addition over here. That's 3, 1, 4, 2, 4, 1. That's the answer. Now I have this, which is positive, opposite sign. So that's the one that I'm going to subtract. I added this two because they have the same sign, negative sign. And I had to subtract this because one is positive and one is negative. And when we have opposite signs, we know we always subtract smaller number from the larger number. And that's exactly what I have done here. So that's 3. This cannot be done, so let's borrow. 14 minus 6 is 8. Decimal here. That's 1 minus 5 can't be done. 3 here, 1. 11 minus 5 is 6. That's 2 and 1. Final answer is 126.83. And remember, the bigger number was a negative one. So the answer is this. The next. Now here we are solving this first. Minus times minus makes it plus. So we have 2 positive and 1 negative. So let's add 2 positives first. Plus 12.04, which is 6 here, 9 here, 0, 1, 5. That's 50.96. And now we have a negative number and I'm subtracting. So this is no more chaos here. That's 6, 2, and 50 minus 6 is 44. So the answer is 44.26 and it's a positive one because maximum was, the larger number here was, this one here was a positive one. Question 18. Positive, negative, and this is positive. What are we supposed to do? 712.14 plus 9.03. This is 7, 1, 1 here, 1 carry, 2, 7. And then a negative, we subtract 356.80. 7 as it is. We borrow from here. That's 3 decimal. Then again borrow. That's 4. Again borrow. That's 6 and that's 3. 364.37, and the sign is going to be a positive one based on this. Question 19. Here we see that we have subtraction and also multiplication. Remember the rule? Board mass. We will use this here. First, we have to solve multiplication here. 11.3 minus 5.1. 31 times 2 would be 62. 1 decimal digit, 2. So the 0 and decimal here. And that's a plus 1 here. Minus 1.1. This is positive. This is positive. This negative. This negative. I'm going to combine first positives. 11.3 plus 0.62. I can write 0 here. So that's 2, 9, and 11. 11.92. The negative ones, I'm going to combine them, 5.1 and 1.1, that is 2 here and 6 here, 6.2 with a negative sign here. Simple. And we subtract this now. 11.92 minus 6.20, that's 2, 7 and 5. Answer is 5.72. Wasn't that simple? Very simple. Remember BODMAS and you apply it in sequence and you will reach your answer quickly. The next, here we solve the bracket first. 29 plus 4 would be 33 and the decimal 3 here. Divided by 3 plus 0.5 times 2. I'm leaving the space just to make it clear and neat. We'll do this operation and this separately. 33 divided by 3 would be 11. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So that's how I do it mentally. Plus, if it was 5, 5 times 2 would be 10. And we have one decimal here. So where do we put our decimal point? Here, which is 12.1 because we are adding 1 to 11.1. The next, so we move to the word problems, the story problems, and we have already done 20 questions. Let's go fast and complete the whole chapter very quickly. In the word problems, do you remember the rule? We have to read carefully and mark important information. In Arizona, a minimum temperature of minus 40 degrees Celsius was recorded at Holly Lake in 1971. A maximum recorded temperature was 53.3 degrees Celsius. Find the difference between, what are we supposed to find? Difference between this maximum and minimum temperatures. Difference, it's basically finding the distance. So if you use your number line like this here, how do we do this? This is minus 40 degrees. Here this is 0 and somewhere here it is 53.3. So this is 40 to reach from minus 40 and from here to here we need 53.3. So basically you add them and that's 93.3 degree Celsius. So the difference is that. If you want to do with absolute value, this is the method minus 40 because that's a minus temperature. Minus, we are finding the difference. So you put minus 53.3 which is minus 93.3. We use absolute value because we are finding the distance and the distance is not negative. That's the answer. Either way, you get your answer. The next, a shop owner buys 5 handbags to sell in his shop. The owner pays $39.75 for each handbag. So that is basically the price for purchase. He bought the bags, right? And each bag costed him how much? $39.75. Later, the owner has to sell the handbags at a loss. Poor guy. If he charges 27.79, so his selling price is how much? Let's write it here. While we are reading, we'll also write $27.79. What is his total loss for the 5 handbags? How are we supposed to do this? Here we know the purchase price for one bag and the selling price, but we are expected to find the total loss. So how do we do that? For that, we need to know the total purchase price and the total selling price. So basically, if I multiply this with 5 because 5 handbags were bought, right? And again, I'll multiply this with 5 because 5 handbags were sold. Okay, so the total, what's my total now? 5 times 5 is 5, 2 carried here, 5 times 7 is 35, 35 plus 2 is 37, 3 carried here, 9 times 5 is 45, plus 3 is 48, 4 here, 5 times 3 is 15, 19. So that's the total purchase price. Let's see the total selling price. 9 times 5 is 45, 4 carried. 5 times 7 is 35 plus 4, 39, 3 carried. This is 5 times 7, 35 plus 3, 38, 3 carried. This is 10, $13. It's a huge loss. Let's find the loss. So the loss is going to be what? 198.75 minus 138.95. 0. This cannot be done. So 7, 1 here. 17 minus 9 is, how much is it? 8. Is it? Yes. Then this is 8. 17 minus 8 again. So that's 9. 18 minus 13 is 5. So the loss is of 59.80. He lost $59.80 here. That's a loss. That's really sad. Moving to the same question. Why do I have this question again here? Are you wondering that? I did this on purpose to show you an easier way to resolve this. 39.75 minus 27.79. Let's solve this. This is 6, 1. 15 minus 9 is 6. 6 minus 7 can be done. 16 minus 7 is 9. Then 8 minus 7 is 1. $1. So this is a loss per bag. Every bag that he's selling, he's making a loss of $11.96. How many bags did he sell? 5. So his loss is going to be 5 times this. So 11.96 here times 5. 0, 3, 45, 48, 4. 5 times 1, 5 plus 4, 9. And that's 5. 59.80. 59.80. Here I found the difference and I do multiplication only once. So this is a smart way to go faster and get your answer. Question 23. A state tax is 4.25%. Amy spends $208 at a department store, but only half of the merchandise, only half she purchases is taxed. What is the total bill? What does it say? The tax is 4.25, but is the tax on the entire purchase? No, only half. So she's spending 208. So half of that is 104, 104. On this part, there is no tax. Here, there is tax of 4.25%. Remember to read your question well. If you apply 4.25 on the entire amount, 208, you will get a different answer. That's why reading and then writing information in a way that helps you solve is very important. And how is this to be done? Percentage. It is 4.25%. So we write it like this. And on how much amount? 104. So this is how we will find how much more she has to pay for 4.25%. We will do the calculations here. 3-digit multiplication. Because it's 100, I'm going to put 2 zeros here. 1 times, so it's easier. 0 times, I don't need to do. 4 times 5 is 20. 2. 4 times 2 is 8. Plus 2 is 10. 0, 1. 4 times 4 is 16. Plus 1, 17. 0, 0. 2, 1, 4, 4. How many decimal digits over there? This 2, right? So we'll take off this 2, which is 442 over 100, which is $4.42, right? Because we just here only the multiplication was done. These 2 numbers were taken, right? And this 100 was still here. So that's $4.42. So how much is total that she has to pay? So it's 208 for sure, because that's her purchase, plus the taxes of 4.42. $2. That's 4 2 here. 2 1 1 2. That's the amount she has to pay. Aren't these questions simple? Yes, they are. Maybe you can pause the video, solve rest of the questions, come back, and not to check your answer, but to check my answers. Kylie bought some t-shirts and a pair of shorts for $66.30. That's her total bill. The pair of shorts costs $15.90. So shorts, I'm just going to write shorts, though it is pair of shorts, $15.90. And each t-shirt, what's the cost of a t-shirt here? $5.60. How many t-shirts did Kelly buy? So we know that she bought one pair of shorts. That's given. But we don't know how many t-shirts. What are we supposed to do? How do we find out the number of t-shirts? It is clear that it's not one t-shirt. It is more. First thing, because it is just one pair of shorts, we will take out that amount from the total amount. The total was 66.30 and we subtract the amount for the shorts here, which turns out to be, this is 0, 5, 1, that's 13 minus 9 is 4, 550, and that's 50. That's the amount of money that she has spent on t-shirts. And each t-shirt is costing 5.6. What operation are we supposed to use? Addition, subtraction, division, multiplication? How do we know which one to use? So it's like 50.40 is there. You buy one t-shirt, take out 5.60. Buy another, take out 5.60. So it's repetitive subtraction, which means I'm supposed to do division. Very good. Let's do it. 5040. I'm going to treat this as 5040 and this one as 560. Two digits, okay? It's settled. 560. If it was around 5, it's bigger than 5. So let's say it's a 6. 6 times 9 is how much? 54. 6 times 9, 54. So let's try 56 times 9 if it works. 6 times 9 is 54, 5 here, 45 and 50. Yes, that's what we wanted. And that's the answer here. So the cost of each t-shirt is 5.60, but the number of t-shirts bought were 9. And it's done. The next, Miss Parker wants to buy 10 books. Good. Reading is a good practice. Do you like reading? It's a good practice. There's a lot to learn when you read. 6 of them cost $12.50 each. 6 books, each one costing $12.50. And the rest cost, which means how many? 4. Very good, because total were 10 books. They cost $26.35 each. Oh, these ones are expensive. If she only has $150, how much more does Miss Parker need to buy all 10 books? How do we solve this? How do we know how much more she needs? Well, for that, we need to know how much she has to pay for these books. And do we know how much she has to pay for all these books? Not yet. Can we find out? Of course. Let's do that. $12.50 per book. And there are 6 books, which means repetitive addition. And that means multiplication. So it's 125 times 6. 0, 3, 5, 1, 7. Because it's 12.5. So this is basically $75. And next one, 2635 times 4. 0, 2, 4, 1, 5, 2, 10. which means this one is going to be $105.40, right? 2 digits. So my 2 digits here. What's the total for this? Let's find it out. 105.40 plus 75, which is equal to 0.4 here, 0181. So that's the money she needs. The total for all these books is going to be $180.4, but she has only $150, which means how much she needs more. How do we know that? We have to subtract 180.4 minus 150. That's 0.4 here, 0.3. She needs $30.4 more. That's the amount of money she needs to buy the books that she wants to buy. The recommended calcium intake for men and women is about 1.2 grams per day. A glass of milk contains 0.27 grams of calcium. What's the recommendation? 1.2 grams per day. And the glass of milk has how much calcium? 0.27 grams. If a man drinks 3 glasses of milk, this is 3 glasses now. So basically, you do 7 times 3, which is 1 here, 2 here, then 6 and 8. So if a person drinks 3 glasses, the person is getting 0.81 grams of calcium. How much additional calcium does he need from other food sources? The total one needs is 1.2, and the milk is giving how much? This. And you know, it's subtraction, right? That's how you will know how much more you need. Those words are telling you what you have to do. So that's 1 here, 1903. So how much more the person needs? If the person drinks 3 glasses, the person still needs 0.39 grams from other food sources. Maya evaluated an expression as follows. Find her mistake. They're asking you to find the mistake, which means they know you're smart. You can do it. Let's solve this. How would we solve this? BODMAS, right? We are first going to solve the brackets. So this is 48 divided by 2 times 0.9 and 0.3. How much is it? 1.2. You can check here. 0.9, 0.3. This is 12. 9 plus 3. So 2 here, 1 here, and that's 1.2. Now what comes first? Division. So we are going to solve this part, which is 24 times 1.2. And the answer for this is 24 times 12. 0, 4, 2, 8, 4. That is 8, 8, 2. So the answer for this is 288 with a decimal here, as we have 1 decimal digit here. That's the answer. Let's check Maya's answer. 48 divided by 2 times this. Okay, this step is right. We have the same step here. Now what happens? What did she do? She did this part first. She went to multiplication first, and that's where she ended up making the mistake. Remember BODMAS very well. Next, 28. Wow, it's going super fast. One day in February, the temperature at 9 a.m. was minus 6.8 degrees Fahrenheit. At 3 p.m. on the same day, the temperature is 1.72 degrees Fahrenheit. Find the change. You know, when you have to find the change, what you're supposed to do? You're finding the distance basically. So it is minus 6.8 minus, because it's difference, 1.72. which is equal to, how much is it? 6.8, 1.72. We are going to add them first. So that's 2, 5 here, 0.18. It is minus 8.52, which is equal to 8.52 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's the change in the temperature from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Find the average hourly rate of change. How much time did it take from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.? How much is it? It's 6 hours. In 6 hours, the change is 8.52. So per hour average, right? Per hour, what is the change? And how do we find the average? It's the total change that's happening over the number of hours it took to change that much. So the total change is 8.52 and the hours it took is, that's how you get the average here. 852 divided by 6 times 1, 6, 2, 5. I write 5 here. Now here I don't put my decimal, but I shift it here. 6 times 4 is 24. 1, 2. 6 times 2 is 12. Wow, 0. So average is 1.42 degrees Fahrenheit. Every hour, that's the change. That's an average change we are saying. Not necessarily that's how it happened, but that's the average. And question 29. A submarine was cruising at 1,328.4 feet below sea level. It then rose at a rate of 14.76 feet per minute for 15 minutes. Find the submarine's depth after it rose for 15 minutes. How do we do that? We know initially it is at this is a minus below, and then it is rising up by 14.76 feet per minute, and it is coming up for 15 minutes. What are we supposed to do? Yes, we are supposed to multiply these two numbers because it is repetitive addition. And let's do it here. 1476 times 15, 06741 plus this is 0, 3, 35, 38, 3, 20, 23, 3 here, 2 and 7. That's 0, 4, 1 carry, 1, 1 carry, 2, 1 carry, 2. That's how much? 22140. But where are we going to put our decimal point? Here, because there are 2 decimal digits here. So that's the rise. That's how much it's coming up after 15 minutes. But what's the question? Find the submarine's depth. That is 221 is how much it came up. That's the distance it traveled up. But where was our submarine? It is here. So where is it now? What is the position? And how do we do that? We have to, it's like minus 1328.4. And we have to add what it has traveled up. So that's 221.40. It results into how much? Let's do the calculation here. 1328.4 minus 221.4. So that's 0 here. 7011. It is 1107 feet below the sea level. Negative number, larger one, so negative sign. So it is still not up, it is at this position. If the submarine continued to rise at this rate, find the time it took to reach the surface from the depth you found in A. So now the position is this because they're asking from A. That's where the submarine is, and it has to reach up. And every minute it still travels 14.76 feet. So let's divide these two numbers to see how long will it take to cover up the whole distance. That is 14.76. Why did we divide? Because every minute it is coming up by 14.76. So we are going to subtract that. So for first minute, it would be like 1107, that's minus, and we are going to add here like this. And then again, whatever the answer is here, let's say the answer is A, then you say A plus 14.76, answer is B. You are doing this repeatedly, and I know it's addition that we are doing here because our depth is negative. That's why we are adding. Otherwise, we would be subtracting. So it is the division that will apply over here. And the division goes like this: 1107 divided by 1476. I'm going to treat this as 7, like 1476, but there were 2 decimal digits, so I'm going to put 2 zeros over here. If this number was 1500, very close to 1500, right? We know that 15 times 7 is 105, and this is 1100 around. So we will try this number with 7 first. Let's do the calculation here. Times 7, as we said. This is 42, 4 up here, 49, 53, 5 here, 28, 33, 3 here, and 10. So that's 10332, and that's 7. What's the answer for this? Let's do it. 6 here, 1, that's 8, 3, 0, 7, 0, 0, and we take this 0 down. Now again, 15 times 5 is 75, right? And this is a bit smaller, so we are going to try with 5 now. 1476 times 5, 33 here, 35, 38, 3 here, 20, 23, 2 here, 5, and exactly the same answer as we wanted, and that gives us 0. So it's going to take 75 minutes to reach the surface. The next, Jose is climbing a mountain. Using a rope, Jose climbs down from the top of a steep cliff for 4 minutes at a rate of 12.2 feet per minute. So he's at the top, he's climbing down for how much time? For 4 minutes. And what is the speed? 12.2 feet per minute. He then climbs back up, okay, for 10 minutes at a rate of 3.6 feet per minute. How far from the top of the cliff is he after 14 minutes? This is 14 because it's coming down for 4 minutes and then going up for 10 minutes. So let's start with the first part where it says he climbed down for how many minutes? 4 at a rate of 12.2. So it's 4 minutes at the rate of 12.2. So that is climbing down, okay? Which is equal to 12.2 times 4. 8, 8, 4. That's 48.8 feet. He is come down. And then for the next 10 minutes, he is climbing up at this speed. This calculation is easier, right? 3.6 times 10 multiplying with tens is actually adding 0. But here we'll have a decimal point, so we will remove decimal point. That's 36 feet going up. So we know how much he came down and we know how much is going up. But where exactly is he? How far from the top of the cliff is he after 14 minutes? So he was on the top somewhere here. He comes down somewhere here, which is 48.8 feet. And then again, he goes up for 36 feet. So what is this position is what we are supposed to find. And how do we do that? The picture tells you what you are supposed to do. Yes, it is subtraction. So he came down this much and then he is going up this much. 8, 2, 1. So its current position, this is going to be 12.8 feet. Where exactly he is after 14 minutes? After 14 minutes, his position is 12.8 feet from the top of the cliff. Question 31. Miss Nelson owns 120 shares in a shipping company. On Monday, the value of each share dropped by $0.38. So that is minus. On Tuesday, the value of each share rose by $0.16. So that's positive. Find the total change in the value of Miss Nelson's 120 shares. So what's happening? On Monday, it's going down. On Tuesday, it's going up. Okay, so let's play smart here. So we say minus 0.38 for Monday, right? Because it's dropping. And for Tuesday, we say plus 0.16 because it is rising. So what is this? This will be minus 0.22, right? So it's 0.38 here and 0.16. So that's 2 and that's 2 and the sign of the larger number, so it's negative. Now, this change that you see is per share, right? And what are we expected to find? For 120 shares. So it is repeated addition. So we simply multiply. So we say that's 120, the number of shares, times the change per share, which is minus 0.22. Let's do the calculations here. 22 and 12. We multiply. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. Plus, we put 0. 1 times 2. 1 times 2. That's 462. So we write here 264. Then this is not 12. It's 120. So we put that 0. Minus sign we put here. And then 2 decimal places. 1 and 2. So our decimal is going to be here. So that's loss of $26.40, right? Because we have a minus sign here. So that was that simple. Finding change per share and then multiplying that with total number of shares. I know sometimes students would do this. They would say 0.38 times 120, 0.16 times 120, whatever those answers are, they take the difference of that and they get this answer finally. So this is quite a long process. This is a very simple process. Always be smart, and that gives easy and short ways to solve your question. That's it. Let's get to the next one. We are on the last question. Yay! A company suffered a loss of 5.4 million in its first year. So let's start writing some important information. First year loss. So we are going to write this way. Okay. It lost another 3.1 million in the second year. That's sad. Loss. So minus. It made a profit of, finally, it has a profit of $4.9 million in the third year. So what's happening in the third year? $4.9 million, and it's positive because it's a profit. Find the average profit or loss for the first 3 years. What's happening? What's the end of the 3 years? Loss, profit. What's the final status? That's what they're asking us here. So if we add this two, because they both are negative, they both are losses. 4 and 1 gives us 5, decimal place. 5 and 3 is 8. So the losses is $8.5 million. Huge amount. What happens in the third year? They're making the profit. So how do we manage that? Basically, we will subtract 4.9 from 8.5. And the answer is, this is not doable. So we carry, and that's 6 and 3. At the end of the 3 years, the loss is $3.6 million. Okay. This company needs to do better. Hopefully it does. Let's go to the next part. What does it say? After its 4th year of business, so we have the 4th year, the company's combined profit for all the 4 years is 0, which means at the end of the 4th year, it is at 0. That means no profit, no loss. It's better than the losses. Find the company's profit or loss during the fourth year. How do we do that? Nothing is given. They didn't say. Well, it's very simple. At the end of the third year, what is the situation here? It is at a loss. And at the end of the fourth year, it is zero. What does these two numbers tell us? To reach from minus $3.6 million, the loss of $3.6 million to zero, they of course have to make a profit of $3.6 million. Then only they can reach, this is minus here, this is plus here. That's how it's going to reach there. So the profit is $3.6 million. It's the profit in the fourth year. That's good. At least no losses. They covered it up. It took 4 years, but they are there. At the end of the 4 year, it is clear. No profit, no loss. Simple? It's easy, right? How did you find this chapter? Was easy? It was, right? Remember to watch all the videos of other exercises and also the content videos so that you get really, really good at math. Better, best at math. Do watch out all the videos. Enjoy, all the best. Bye bye.